Well, thank you very much. That was very unexpected, but incredibly acted upon by Secret Service and law enforcement. And this was an event dedicated to freedom of speech that was supposed to bring together. Just remember, Yasharala, just remember, be aware of Satan devices. Keep in mind, beware of Satan devices. Giving all honor and glory to Abba Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah Mashiach Barakatai. Baba Kasha, Abba Yahweh, Baba Kasha, Abba Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Mashiach Barakatai. The Hawada for the Rakak Wadash, the Hawada for our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Yaquab. The Hawada for the men of King David that's in the streets and the highways and the byways doing this work in sincerity and in truth. Okay? Presenting their tabernacles that Abba Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai have loaned us. These tabernacles are loaners. Okay? And the men of David are the temple of Abba Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai Masha. I'm not going to be long. I just want to say, come out through Rakakwadash with some precepts. Just beware of Satan's devices, lest Satan, which is Esau Edom, the so-called white man, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, or the Israelites, starting with the hopeful elect. For we are not ignorant, not knowing of his devices. So these are devices that the enemy is coming out with. Okay, we understand that this enemy Esau Edom have but a short time, and we are at the peak or the moment of the mark of the beast, the digital CHIP, the RFID microchip, the mark, the Karak Metakaraks. We is knocking on the door. Beware of Satan's devices. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe mean destruction to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, the deceiver, Esau, Edom, diablos, right? In the Latin and the Greek, false accuser, right? Slanderer, you see, right? Is come down unto you, having what? Great wrath, because he know it, that he had but a short time. Okay, and this is why it's so important to have this truth, this knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding. Is very important. Okay, hold fast what you have. Okay, you have to be circumspect, man, in the times that you're in. See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools. You can't be a fool in April of 2026. You can't be a fool. You have to be walking circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Bad times are here. Bad times, Israel. Bad times, evil times. We're at the end of this man's age. We're at the end of this man's rulership, the end of this man Eon, his kingdom, his cosmos. Okay, we at the end of that. Wherefore be ye not unwise, you see. You want to know you're a Hebrew Israelite. You want to know the house of your fathers. Job 8:8, do the search of the house of your fathers. You want to know who the so-called white race is, start with the Baker family, the Edomites, Idumea, Edom. You want to know what's going on, Israel. You want to know what time it is. The time when Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah Mashak, is visiting the earth which he had made. You want to know the Heavenly Father name, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah Mashak Barakatah, and his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shah, our great Redeemer, our great Deliverer in Yasharallah, our Prince of Peace. Okay? Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Elohim is. The law, statutes, commandments, and judgments and testimonies. Rehearsing the righteous acts here in the place of drawn water, knowing your enemy, knowing your Redeemer, right? And be not drunk. You don't want to be drunk. You don't want to be drunk of the philosophies, of the ideology of Rome 2.0, Rome revised. You don't want to be drunk in religion. You don't want to be drunk in this philosophies, thinking that this place going to continue to go on and on, this empire, this age, this eon. Your mind shouldn't be on getting a degree, becoming a CEO of some type of company, getting your own business. Your mind shouldn't be on that. Going to church on Sunday, religion, Christianity, going to the mosque, Islam, thinking you're a Muslim, getting money, getting the bag, your money, bags. Okay? The Most High said, be not drunk with wine, ideology, philosophy, this religion, man. Being a rapper, being a hoe in Babylon, you ain't going to make it as an Israelite. And be not drunk with wine, right? Wherein is excess, but be filled with the rakah. You want to be filled as a Hebrew Israelite with the spirit of Abba Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah Mashapaktai. And I just want to say that was a beautiful thing. I was watching one of the men of David, I believe yesterday, and he was saying that Watchmen for Israel, WFI, they had a brother from WFI, and I think their leader is Brother Naquab. Well, one of the men understood that the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip. And that's a beautiful thing because what's happening now, the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashai, is going to start pulling men from these camps. That's part of the whole Phalet. And they're going to get with men like men of David, GMS, and, start teaching the mark of the beast being one of the last prophecy before World War III, before the nukes hit here, one of the last prophecy that got to be fulfilled. When you're dealing with the buying and selling, we already here. The digital wallet, the digital purse, we here already with that. It's here. So this is time for men of David to come out of these camps that have been bought and paid for, or the Most High just have blinded their leaders, as it says 2 Thessalonians 2:11. Okay? They were men that never worship Abba Yahweh Ba'ashim. So they never rejoice, in him. I think they go into that in Exodus 20:5 or 4, Ecclesiastes 4:16. You always had wicked men in Yasharala never rejoice in Abba Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Never rejoice. Okay? Never rejoice of the prophets of the men of Abba Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. The Most High saying, be not drunk with wine. So what Trump and them was doing, okay, pay close attention to these moves. Just like the attack at the White House or the dinner, whatever. Be aware of this man's device. We're in excellence, but be filled with the Rakakwada, speaking to yourselves in psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs, right? Having this truth, having this oil, having this knowledge and wisdom and understanding. Knowing who you are, knowing what's required of you, and knowing the Heavenly Father name and His only begotten Son name, right? That go into the psalms, the hymns, spiritual songs, singing and making melody in your heart, in your mind, in your life to the Elohim, you see? You know what's going on. And you're giving all honor and glory to Abba Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, giving thanks, you see? Always for the things unto Abba Yahweh, the Elohim, Abba Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, in the name of our Elohim Yahushai Mashiach, right? Submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of Abba Yahweh. One, that's brothers leaving their camps. That's going into brothers leaving their camps, joining with the house of David. The Most High is building the third temple brick by brick, the man being the brick by brick. The man of David being the brick by brick. Submitting yourself one to another to the fear of the Elohim. So when you see brothers coming out of these false camps under their leaders and joining to the house of David, the men of David, that's them in fear of Abba Yahweh and submitting themselves one to another. Men's coming together in righteousness. Okay? In righteousness. Now, not just submitting, because once you have the fear of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Shai, then you're going to have the spirit of prophecy. That's why it's imperative to fear the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because now your mind is going to be meditating on what prophecy now. Now you can teach the mark of the beast and give the proper breakdown and the proper understanding because you fear Abba Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, submitting yourselves one to another in fear. The fear of the Elohim is the beginning. Now these brothers, the Akim, these men, have the knowledge now. The fear of the Elohim is the beginning of wisdom. So you had the brother from Watchmen for Israel. You're going to have many others. You're going to have somebody come out of AOI, somebody going to come out of HOI, GOCC, IURC. You're going to have more brothers, more Akim coming out from among because the devil having that short time. And he's coming out with great wrath. So the Most High is that he's removing. See, the elect is being sealed. World War III already started. The nukes haven't been let go yet because of Jacob's trouble, the female camp, the mark of the beast. But everything is lining up as prophecy. It's all lining up, Israel, Yasharallah. It's all lining up. It's all lined up. This makes sure that you walk in what? Circumspectly in the truth. The fear of the Elohim is the beginning of wisdom, a good understanding. Now these men got a good understanding. Why? Because they feared the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So when GMS gave the breakdown, the men was ready to receive and understand. But he wouldn't understand if he didn't fear Abba Yahweh. It always started with that. You got to fear the Most High first and foremost. You got to fear Abba Yahweh and His only begotten Son Yahweh Shah Mashiach. If you can't go nowhere, you can't understand the Bible. You can't understand the precepts. You can't receive the understanding Your ear can't get the understand if you don't fear the God of the Bible. So that's the beginning point. See, that's where it starts. The fear of the Israelites is the beginning, because it say the Bible, the precept strictly say King David. That's where it all started, through the fear. Okay, a wisdom and a good understanding. To have a good understanding of the Bible, the book of the law, the Bible, the 1611 KJV. All they that do His commandments, His praise endure forever. They go into the righteous act. That's how you be. That's how you get the spirit of prophecy. And now you're able to come out with all the truth. The Most High have a lot because your fear, because your faith, because your trust in Abba Yahweh Ba'ashem Ashai. And I fell at His feet to worship Him. And He said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant, you see, and of thy occupant, of thy brethren, that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Worship the Elohim, Abba Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Masha Baruch, for the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. So how you gonna prophesy about the bulk of the beast, which is the RFID microchip, if you don't have the testimony of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai? You don't have it. You don't have it, Israel, Yashavala. So you gotta have the spirit of Yahweh Shai, and you gotta be meditating, right? The Most High say, but he that giveth his mind. See, you got to be given that mind, that heart. We just read about the heart, which is your mind, la'ab. His mind to the law of the Most High, you see, and is occupied. You have to be occupied in prophecy. You got a lot of these camps still doing 4-5 hour Shabbat studies. But they're not coming out with guillotines, FEMA concentration camp, your neck rolling, working till your back give out. You see, the MOTB, they're not warning you about that. Nobody is warning you about it. They're not getting your mind right. They're not having you walking circumspectly in this truth. Okay? Occupied meditation will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecies. So the Most High say, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Yaquab, his name is Yaquab, supplanted Yasharal, name would change, right? Genesis 32:28, Genesis 35:10. You should be occupied in what? Prophecies, end time prophecies, right? Doom and gloom prophets. That's what doom and gloom is all about. Warning you about doom and gloom. Let's check out the clip. Yasharal, I hope this lesson was edification and exaltation. Let's continue on with this clip. Shalom, shalom, shalom.
That was supposed to bring together members of both parties with members of the press. And in a certain way it did. Because the fact that they just unified, I saw a room that was just totally unified. It was in one way very beautiful, a very beautiful thing to see. A man charged a security checkpoint armed with multiple weapons. And he was taken down by some very brave members of Secret Service, and they acted very quickly and have just released, for purposes of transparency, clarity, I've ordered it to be put out. You probably have it by now, put out on Truth and put out on many other platforms. A tape showing the violence of this thug that attacked our Constitution, and also showing how quickly Secret Service and law enforcement acted on our country's behalf. Really did a great job. One officer was shot, but saved by the fact that he was wearing obviously a very good bulletproof vest. He was shot from very close distance with a very powerful gun, and the vest did the job. I just spoke to the officer, and he's doing great. He's in great shape.